Hello, welcome to the TryLine podcast. I'm your host, Bo. This is my co-host, the people's host, Danny. How you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Yourself?
How'd you like last night?
Oh, look, it was a good game, but I was a little bit disappointed that the Panthers won.
As an Eels supporter, passionate Eels supporter, always salty when the Panthers do well.
Well, they're dogs. They shouldn't have even beat Parramatta a couple weeks ago. But anyway,
Give it a rest. I thought it was a great grand final. I really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorite grand finals in a while. It's hyper competitive. I thought most players were up for the game, and we're gonna have a look at the player ratings today. Now I had a look at the Fox ones. There were some I agreed with, some that I didn't. So I asked you to come up with your player ratings, and we're gonna go through them right now. We'll start with South Sydney. Blake Taff got a 7.
uh, yeah, I've got him as a 7 as well.
All right, Alex Johnson got a 7.
I gave him a 6.5. I thought there wasn't really much that he was doing apart from when he scored his try. I didn't really see too much of him.
All right, Dane Gagai got an 8 on Fox.
Right, okay, well, I've got a little bit different. I've got a 6. Um, Mainly because he did go off for a HIA for 15 minutes.
Mm.
And when he came back on, yeah, he got a ton of tackle breaks, sorry, but they didn't really eventuate to anything. Didn't really lead to anything. They were just kind of.
I felt like he was going sideways a lot as well,
Mm.
personally. Campbell Graham got 6.5.
I gave him a 5.5. Yeah, he was all right. Obviously, 5.5 is it's not a bad score, but it's not a good score. He defensively there was for Matt Burton's first try. I thought that
Yeah,
was
he went in.
yeah.
Joey broke that one down too. Like, instead of adjusting with his line, because Adam Reynolds had actually already slid off, and Cam Murray was going to take the lead, but Campbell Graham come in. So I thought that was a poor read as well. Other than that, I thought he did okay. We got Jackson Paulo at 6.5.
I got him at 5.
Okay.
Um, he was pretty bad on the high ball.
Yeah.
So I
Cody
just
Walker got an 8.
I've given Cody Walker 8.5. I think
I thought Cody Walker was outstanding.
he was awesome. For most of the game, I thought he was the best player on the field.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely electric, to be honest.
Yep.
Adam Reynolds got an 8.
Got an 8, yep.
Yep. Mark Nichols, 6.5.
6.5, yeah.
Oh, nailed that one. Damien Cook, 8.
I got 7.5.
All right. Tavita Totola, 7.5.
I gave him a 7.
Okay. Kalol Matangi, 7.
6.5. For both the Bunnies back rowers, I thought they were just quiet. Like they did
Yeah,
their jobs, but there was nothing special really there.
Jaden Sewer got a 7. I'll tell you what, he was the most relieved player in the world when Panthers knocked it on. After he knocked it on close to the line, that could have been really costly. So
Yes.
he got a 7.
I've given him a 6.
Yeah. Cam Murray, another player that was just so good. He got a 9 from Fox.
I've given him an 8.5. So tied with Walker. So it would be hard to split those two, I
Yeah.
thought.
Benji gets a 3. Didn't really have a lot of time to make an impact there. Come on, defended in the centres and went okay. I don't think they attacked him nearly enough, but 3 probably minutes limited.
Yeah, sure. I've given him a 4.5.
Okay, Jacob Host got a 5.
I'll give him 5.5.
Okay. Tom Burgess got an 8.
I've given him a 7. I've given him the best score out of that Bunnies bench. Well, for
Yep.
both benches really, because I thought when he came on, he was one of the better forwards in the game.
Yep. Jairo got a 5. HIA. He went off with a HIA. I don't know how he gets smaller than Benji.
Yeah, I've given him 5 point. Sorry, not 5. 4.5.
Yep. All right, let's go. The Panthers, the grand final winning team. I thought their defense was just so good. Same with South. Their defense was really good for both teams.
Yeah,
Dylan Edwards played with a broken foot. It was revealed. He got 7.5.
7.5. Yeah,
I thought his first half was really good.
yeah, he did really well. What was it? 162 meters or something like that in the first half.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, hold on.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Maybe put a smoky for Clive Churchill, so chuck $25 on him. But
I think he was a smoky.
he went missing in that second half though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say missing, but he just didn't go looking for as much work.
Stephen Crichton got a 7.5.
I've given him a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he made some pretty poor reads in defense. Obviously, the one read that mattered kind of won him the game, but
Yeah,
7.5. Paul Momorowski got a 7.
I give him a 6. Again, there was
Okay.
just not I didn't really see too much of him.
Matty Burton, the player that I think was the Clive Churchill medalist, to be honest. He got a 7.5.
I've given him 8.5. I
Yeah, I
thought he
think
was
he was
great in it.
so good.
Yeah, he was great in defense as well, and he scored that first try. So give me
And
eight point five.
his kick pressure was a big part of their game, I thought.
Mm.
He was the guy that led that chase down all the time, put that pressure on Jackson Paulo to force the mistake.
Yeah.
I thought his kick pressure was so good. Matt Burton was my Clive Churchill. Brian Tohol, 8.5. Another crazy game for him.
Yes, I've given him a 7.5. 7.5.
Okay, well, he ran for 235 meters with 5 tackle busts, and I think he was on one leg, so
Yeah.
he was outstanding. Jerome Luai, 8.
I've given him a 7.
All right, he had that knock on call early, which I just thought was ridiculous. That first call in like the first couple of minutes. I don't know if I would challenge it, but it was kind of like them sending a statement to Jared Sutton saying we're not going to be done like this today. You know what I mean?
Hold on, mate. What?
That very first one where it was in like the first couple of minutes, and he got up to play the ball, and the referee called a knock on, and then there was no way it was a knock on, and they challenged it. It was in the first like 3 minutes.
I
Do you
don't.
remember that?
I don't remember that one.
And it was actually on the second last tackle. So all they were going to do is kick the ball. But I think they would just send a statement to Jaron Sutton saying we're not going to be robbed out of this one. So I thought that was funny, that one.
So was that the one that I was telling you about earlier?
No,
Okay, different
no.
one. Okay.
The very first it was like the very first call of the game. It was crazy.
Oh,
Nathan Cleary.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was going to say I missed it. It's a funny story actually. So I didn't know that it was only on 9, the grand final. So
I see you're waiting on Fox.
I was sitting watching a countdown to the halftime show on Fox, and I'm thinking, and it started to get pretty low, like started to get to like 45 minutes, and I'm like, hold on, what's going on? And then I looked on the app, on the NRL app, and it said Channel 9.
How much of the game did you miss?
I missed the first 7 minutes.
Oh, that sucks. Well, it was inside that first 7 minutes. All right, Nathan Cleary, the Clive Churchill medalist, well deserved, 8.5.
I've given him a 9. Just
Thought his
because,
kicking game was so good.
yeah, his kicking game was awesome. Obviously, if you're going to be winning Clive Churchill, it's like you have to be the best on the field. So that's
Yeah,
why I give
thought
it
he
a 9.
was like as much as I think Matt Burton was the best player for Penrith. I wouldn't argue with Nathan Cleary either. I thought he was really good.
Yep.
Moses Leota got a 7.
I've given him a 6.5. I was just want to go back to that. So, did someone on the Bunnies side get a 9? Was it Cam Murray they gave a 9? Was it?
Cam Murray got a 9. Yes.
So they reckon he should have won Clive Churchill. Is that what they're
Oh
saying?
yeah, I didn't even realize that.
That's
You're
what
right.
they're saying.
Appy Coruscant got 7.5. Missed some tackles there, the boy.
Yeah, I've given him a 7. He did miss a few tackles, but I mean,
Yeah.
play on. Who cares?
I think he missed 15. James Fisher Harris 8.
7.5 for mine.
Yeah, all right. Liam Martin 7.5.
Liam Martin, I've got him at 7.
Okay. Kirk Capewell 7.5.
Hold on. Did Liam Martin start?
I don't know. They've just got him there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Kurt
might
Capel
have.
was 7.5. Sorry.
Yeah. Isaiah Yo, I thought he had a really good game as well. 8.5.
Yeah, I've given him an 8. Yeah, he was I've got him as the best forward for Panthers with an 8.
Yeah, I thought Viliami Kikau was really, really good. Couple of really great effort plays from him.
Yeah.
There was one moment, he got an 8 from Fox League. I was talking to you about it, and he shot out of line and put a shot on a South Sydney player and was at marker. And then they made a break actually down the right-hand side, and he made the cover defense tackle from marker to stop that. And I think South ended up losing the ball. So big moment from Viliami. I thought it was a really solid game from him.
I think I remember what you're talking about. I think it was he put a shot on Jaden Sewer or Sow. How do you pronounce his name? Jaden Sewer?
I think it's Sewer.
Jaden Sewer. And I think it was bloody Campbell Graham rings a bell for dropping the ball.
Yeah, well, they've just great effort from Viliami Kikau. I was going to do a video on it. And he's not really known for those kind of effort plays, which was just really good. They were all ready for this grand final. Tyrone May, he got a 6 on Fox.
I gave him 4.5.
I thought he was pretty ordinary when he got on. Scott Sorensen, 7.5.
I've given him a 6.
Okay, and Spencer Linu got a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5 as well.
All right, let us know if you disagree with any of Fox's or Denny's player ratings. Denny, Nathan Cleary was Clive Churchill, you think?
Yeah. Clive Churchill, yeah. If
I
if
don't
if,
like
if the bunnies won, on the other hand, I thought that went to Cody Walker.
I don't like the opposition team getting it. If I think the winning side needs to get it.
Yeah. Who was it? Jack Whiten a couple
Jack
of years
White,
ago? Yeah,
yeah,
2 years ago or something, wasn't it?
yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Anyway, guys, if you watched the show last week, we tipped in a couple of winners for you. Both my multis end up hitting, which was crazy. I took one for South and one for Penrith, and they've actually both come off because I had South at the line there. And we also tipped you in before kickoff. I had Burton, Johnson anytime, Burton first try scorer, Johnson anytime, Penrith 1-12, and Nathan Cleary, Clive Churchill. So hopefully he's cleaned up on that. If you didn't, you can clean yourself up with manscaped.com. They are the industry leaders in hair removal. They've signed on for another month. They sent us some perfume too. This refined. Have a look at this. Oh, this little box here. Beautiful. I've used it. It's lovely. I'll use it again. Denny hasn't received his yet, so that's a kind of slap in the face for him. Denny, how you going with your lawnmower, mate?
Mate, me lawnmower, it's better than ever. My body is feeling great. Being hairless, it's just good. Like, I feel, well, I don't feel like I do feel actually like I
Okay.
smell a little less with less
Just
hair.
yeah.
Yeah, and the lawnmower 4.0 does a great job because it's got a special blade where it doesn't actually cut your skin at all, so you can go as hard as you want, shave wherever, those hard to
Yeah.
reach places. It's great.
Yeah, I think a lot of razors and stuff they tell you to go like softly and make sure you don't cut yourself and be safe. This one you can literally go crazy with. You can just go whichever way you want. Try your hardest to get rid of the hair because it just does a job and it's safe. Guys, go to manscaped.com, use code TryLine for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. You will not be disappointed. It's a great deal, 20% off. You're not going to find that in many places. So code TryLine, manscaped.com, check it out. Let's get into this game, Denny.
Into the grand final. What was it? Review,
The grand final review.
righty. So obviously the Panthers won. They defeat the Bunnies 14 points to 12. Great game of footy. Congrats to Penrith. They played well. Awesome for them. But shout out to Brian Toto. Got engaged.
Yeah, how good's that?
Got down on one knee. So good on him.
I loved every bit of that. Like a little lap dance after the game too. They're just a bunch of characters. I've loved seeing all the pictures from after the game. That's been awesome. But as for the game, we started off. It was a really tight contest early, and then it got broken open by the Penrith Panthers.
Yeah. What was it? There was a big call actually a few minutes before that I wanted to talk about. It
Okay.
was Jerome Luai getting a penalty from it was about 15 meters out from his own line on third tackle. Got a penalty for, I think it might have been for crowding.
Yep.
So obviously the rule is that you're supposed to get to your feet before you put the ball down to try and play it. So we've had a look at the footage. I think there'll be a photo up on the screen. Jerome Luai's on his hands and knees, and he tries to put
Yep.
the ball down and he knocks it on. That, in my opinion anyway, that is a penalty. Not a penalty, knock on.
See, the worst thing about that call, I thought, was he got it right to start with. He called a knock on.
Yeah, and then
He called it a soft call was a knock on, and then he got like a whisper from the sideline from the bunker, and they called it a crowding penalty. Did not enjoy that one at all, but I
no,
did enjoy this first try for Penrith.
yeah,
They
well,
sweep
yeah.
left.
Go
They
on.
sweep left. You think it had a big impact on that?
I do think it had a huge impact on that because you get that penalty, the third
Yeah.
tackle, 15 meters out from their own line. So they kick up. They get the bunnies coming out of their own end, and obviously this was a game that was kind of based around defense, obviously being a low scoring game.
Yep.
And then the set after that, Penrith forced the dropout, and then on that set they scored the try.
Yeah. Yeah, I know where you come from, but in a grand final, you've got to defend that though, don't you? Like if we're sitting here talking about referees' decisions, when they defended the set, right? They defended the set, and
Mhm.
then we talk about when you play, you talk about no double negatives. So no, don't you defend your error, you defend your penalties, and then you don't like compound that. You know what I mean? So they had a chance, they defended it, they done the right thing, they defended that, and then they gave up the points 2 sets later. So I don't know.
Well,
I understand you feel possession. Like you feel possession, that sucks because they get down the other end. It's like a piggyback out of their own end, and it probably shouldn't have been a penalty. Well, it definitely shouldn't have been a penalty, in my opinion. But I still think in a grand final, you've got to defend your errors. And they didn't. I thought it was a great backline movement out to the left. Matty Burton goes over. But South hit straight back, which I didn't really expect. I was a little bit worried if Penrith got on top early that South wouldn't. They defended their line a lot too, South, which was crazy. And then they shift left. Cody Walker, my God, fends off Nathan Cleary, steps on the inside, steps Dylan Edwards, and goes under the post. That try was a thing of beauty.
That was probably one of the better tries of the year, I think.
Yep.
Just out of nowhere, like Cody Walker just puts this huge fend on, Nathan Cleary, and I don't think I've ever seen a fend as big.
It did. It was a moment. You know what I mean? Like, and
Mm,
I thought, whoa. I think I messaged you. Cody Walker is on tonight
yeah.
because usually when they run that shape, to the left. He's always going out the back looking for Taff, looking for Latrell, and they kind of keep shifting left. But he just took on Nathan Cleary. He's no slouch in defense.
Yeah,
He's
no.
no slouch at all. Big fan, steps him on the inside. I said that might be one of my favorite tries of the year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm right there with you.
All right, and then I think after that, the scores stay level for a little bit, and then Nathan Cleary kicks a penalty goal. Penrith go in 8-6 at halftime. Anything else in the first half for you?
Actually, there was one thing as well. So we all know that how the NRL's been going on about player welfare and player safety, all that crap. But it just seems like that all what they said at the start of the year and how all that crackdown with the head eyes and all that
Yep.
came to. I think it's just all gone out the window in these final series because every single game you see someone get knocked out or someone hit someone else head high, something like that, and nothing happens to them, or they'll pass HIA, or the doctor will say that they're sweet to go.
Yep.
But I think it was like Jerome Luai last week with Cameron Munster. He was knocked out, couldn't move, couldn't get up. You saw that blank look in his eye. Goes and passes his HIA, which is sweet. But Cameron Munster gets nothing for that.
Yep.
And then this week, Jai Arrow gets hit in the head, and then
Which is a penalty, which is thankfully a penalty because
yeah,
it's been a penalty all year.
yeah,
And
he
then,
got the penalty. Go
how
on.
does he pass his age? Well, firstly, I'll break it down for you. So he gets hit in the head, right? Now, kick-out gets put on report. So they use the free interchange. Now, I thought it was a HIA, but apparently he did have a HIA check on the field past that. And then, so they used the free interchange, which was technically not a HIA. Otherwise, he would have had to stay off 15 minutes. The doctor actually reviewed the footage and said he was sweet from being hit in the head. He did not need a HIA.
Mm.
Okay, that's what's come out. Then he comes back on the field 5 minutes later, and here's where conflicting reports. Some people are saying Jairo reported post symptoms after the fact, but Wayne Bennett said in his post match press conference that they noticed his timing was out from the box, so they actually reported and asked him to be checked again at halftime. So I don't know which one of those was. Anyone could see that he obviously got smacked in the head, so he needed a head assessment anyway. And then he fails that second head assessment, and he's gone for the game. Truth is, he shouldn't have been back on the field.
Yeah, no. Well, you said the doctors cleared him,
The doctor cleared the footage, yes.
and then he goes and fails a HIA. So I just
I don't understand it
yeah.
either. And Wayne Bennett come out and said that they just get it wrong. They haven't got it right yet, and that's his own player he's talking about. He's saying his own player shouldn't have been allowed back on the field.
Yeah, well, no, he shouldn't have.
So and what's Jairo going to say in a grand final? He's going to say, "I'm sweet," isn't he?
They
Got to take it out of their hands.
they all say they're sweet.
They've got to take unless it's beneficial for the team. You know what I mean? Like last week, Brandon Smith couldn't play because of the shoulder. So what is it? Oh, I'm not good. Like for the HIA. So
HIA,
then
yeah.
that benefits the team. You know what I mean? So unless it benefits the team, they're all going to say they're sweet, and players will keep saying they're sweet. You got to take it out of their hands. There was also another player got hit in the head later in the game that they didn't call a penalty. Was soft. It's so soft. It was so soft, but it's been a penalty all year.
Who was that? I think I saw.
I can't remember. I think kick out hits on in there. I can't even remember. I can't remember who it was, but it was really, really soft, and I would hate to see it given a penalty, but it has been a penalty all year. So what I'm saying is I don't want to cop it all year. I don't want to have to watch it all year and watch it be a penalty all year and then get to a moment that it should be a penalty because that's what you've conditioned me to think, and then it's not.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So, and the old adage is if you can't give it as a penalty in a grand final, don't give it as a penalty ever.
Mm.
That's how it should be. Anyway, that first half I thought was outstanding. This game was played at such a pace, like above state of origin pace. It was fast, it was
Oh,
thick, and we said we looked at the playables were 4 seconds, but I think that was because there was so much fatigue in the game. Like players were out on their feet for so long. The ball in play would have been way up, I reckon, and it just felt like every team was scrambling. I think Penrith missed a lot of tackles, but they missed them at the right end of the right end of the field because Nathan Cleary was turning the ball over 10 meters out from their own line.
yeah.
And that's one thing. If I'm critical of South on one point last night, I thought it was their kick pressure.
How they were just giving Cleary just a bunch of time
Yep,
to to um to kick, and
to
he was
kick
he
the
was
ball.
putting those kicks on a platter, man.
I know.
Like he was putting them far enough out of Taft's reach or high enough that his chasers would get there just in time as the ball was just when the ball was coming down.
No, but I noticed kick pressure probably once, and it was a bad kick. Like they put pressure on him, and Cleary had to scramble, and they got away a pretty terrible kick. But
Mm.
the kick pressure wasn't there, and that's where I put it down to effort because South missed that boat on that kick pressure. But Matt Burton, on the other hand, his kick chase was outstanding, and that is just effort. And it's tough to do. It's tough to do all game is to just chase the ball, chase the ball, chase the ball. But Matt Burton done it relentlessly, and he got a result out of Jackson Paulo. Put some pressure on him, and then they got the ball back. So that's why I really liked Matt Burton's game last night. And I really liked Nathan Cleary's game last night. Let's get
Mm.
in the second half. Adam Reynolds levels scores up early with a penalty goal, and then it was game on, Denny.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, what was it? 8-8 from there, and it was a little bit back and forth. Apart from that intercept try from Cody Walker, I didn't think Penrith were looking likely. Like
No, I don't. In
they,
attack, no.
yeah, no, they get into like a good position, kind of in South's red zone, and then South would just defend it,
Yeah,
or Penrith would make a mistake. There was a one really bad one from Tyrone
Tyrone
May. He
May.
just
Yeah.
dropped it cold, and that would do a lot for the South. They looked like they were coming home the better team.
Do you think that was kind of the story of Penrith's final series though? They constantly look like they were defended really well the whole final series, but they didn't look that dangerous in attack apart from a couple of moments when they scored tries. Like
Yeah,
other than that, like I think only one other time they looked dangerous, and that's when they threw the forward pass for kick out.
yeah,
I just thought they defended so well, and they gave the ball to the Rabbitohs in the right end of the field. And then we go to the intercept. Now, people have slammed Cody Walker for this. I've seen some people have some really poor takes on Cody Walker after this grand final. I
yep,
thought he was one of the best players on the field. He goes to the line. They cut him to bits on their right edge defense, and they're absolutely shot. Cody Walker's got two options: play short to Dane Gagai, play long to Alex Johnson. Probably, I don't think he's got it wrong this year. This night, in that moment, he got it wrong. Throws the intercept. Stephen Crichton, that's his second really, really good intercept of the final series. Takes the intercept, runs away, scores. And I worried for Cody Walker after that because he's such a confidence player.
yeah.
How long was on the clock? Like 12 minutes, something like that?
14,
14 minutes.
14
I
minutes.
worried for him after that, but oh, really great play from Stephen Crichton. They had him shot, though.
Yeah, well, he was in a bad spot because
Yeah, he was.
he was in well defensively. If that pass gets to either of those players, that's
Yeah,
a line break. So
I know.
he's kind of in the middle of them where that was his only like a Hail Mary play, like go for the intercept or
And I thought
or they
that
make a
too. I
break.
thought he was in a terrible spot to defend that play, and he just happened to be. I don't know how it happened, and how often does he just play short? I don't know. I felt for him, but Stephen Crichton on the other hand, he makes that play. That's a huge play from a 22-year-old in a grand final.
Yeah,
All the
huge.
pressure in the world, and they're shot, they're gone, and he makes that intercept. I can remember an Origin, Valentine Holmes. He was shot to bits on a wing, and he dived and made that intercept too, and
Oh,
that was on their own line.
that was a like he outstretched, fully outstretched. I think I
You know,
remember that one.
and that time it was like 3-on-1. So great moment for Stephen Crichton. And then South, as they did with the first try, they hit back really quickly. I think they hit back within 4 minutes or
It
something like that.
was 7 minutes. Yeah,
7 minutes. There we
yeah,
go. And they hit back. almost immediately. I thought that was like the first time we'd seen them attack the line in the second half, and they just stripped him for numbers on the left edge.
Yeah, no, it was, and then um, the it was only in that last like 5-10 minute period. Souths were really attacking Penrith's line.
Yeah. I
Um,
felt other than that, it was all Penrith in the second half, just because where they turned the ball over to South.
yeah,
South didn't really have any opportunity to attack. I would have loved to see him, because South played very safe in the second half. I thought I would have loved to see him have more shots inside their own half too, because we seen them have a shot when they stripped him for numbers on left. They threw the intercept. I
yeah,
thought if they were a little less safe in that second half, because they look likely every time they ran the ball.
yeah, they did. Oh look,
Yeah. It was
yeah,
crazy, and I thought South were coming home the stronger of the two teams. They score in the corner. Alex Johnson scores. Everyone knew he was going to go over in this game.
mm,
Brings up his 30. Was that his 30th try of
30th,
the year?
yeah,
And then Adam Reynolds has a kick to send us to Golden Point in his last game for South. You felt like the script was written for him,
yeah.
and he's so good. He's got the groin injury. He's so good from that sideline as well. And when he kicked it, it looked okay off the boot. I thought it was coming back.
It did look like it was coming back, but then kind of late, it just kind of straightened.
Why did it straighten? It never
Yeah,
straightens.
I know. I
It
don't
was
know.
coming and then it straightened. I thought the game deserved Golden Point. Anyway, it was he hit it well, but it didn't come back enough. Penrith up by 2. How long was left on the clock then, Denny?
There was like 5 or 6 minutes left on the clock.
Yep. And then South get another opportunity, and I was worried for Penrith because they had been so good, but then in steps Nathan Cleary, that slide cover tackle on Cody Walker
Yeah,
to not
Cody
only make
Walker.
that play but play the arm. I
Yeah,
thought was really, really smart.
yeah. I think there's a lot of people. Well, the players were saying that Nathan Cleary touched the ball, and
Yeah,
they were appealing for a six again. But I think we could all see that Nathan Cleary played the arm and not the ball. So
yeah. No controversy there for me.
yeah,
And then other than that, people will talk about the 2-point field goal attempt. It was a Hail Mary. Like, can't really expect them to go over. I don't think you see too many people knock them over from outside 40. So nothing in it for me. And then Penrith win the grand final.
mm.
What a win! What a famous grand final. I thought it was a really fun game. What do you make of South season?
Oh look, I think they did well to get all the way to the grand final after the year that they've had. Well, they got put 50 put on them twice, I think
Yeah.
by Storm and Panthers. So I thought they did good, and then to be in the grand final as well. I'd say it's not a success, but it's a good year.
Yeah, I think it's a great year from them. I think it just shows how important Cam Murray is to that team. Two
Yeah.
losses by 50. Cam Murray didn't play either of them. And then Cam Murray plays, the Penrith twice since then, 3 times since then.
Mm.
And all the scores are within 6 points or something like that. So Cam Murray is really important. Penrith just get it done. They score the least amount of points in a final series in the NRL era by the grand finalists. And their defense was the hallmark of their series, I thought.
Yeah, well, they were the best defensive team throughout the season as well. So
Yeah.
just goes to show defense can win you a comp. I think that's how it usually goes, isn't it?
I know. Well, I was a little bit worried for this final series because we'd had so many blowouts throughout the year.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried about this final series where we were going to be at the end, especially with the Storm. I thought they were attacking so well, but it just shows you defense is still the most important thing in the NRL. And the two best defensive sides through the finals went to the grand final. I thought South. I don't know where they found that defense. Seriously, they defended Penrith really, really well too.
Yeah, no, they did. Like as we said before, in that second half, Panthers they didn't look likely up until the
No,
intercept. So
well, even that's against the run of play too, or in
yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, it is.
Anyway, though, I still think Penrith, great win for them. Great season. They get the payback of last year. Benji Marshall, Denny,
Yep.
does he play on?
Look, I think that he's still got a lot to offer in the NRL. He's one of the, if not the most experienced half in the comp. I think he could do wonders, kind of like mentoring. There's a few teams out there with younger halves, so
Yep,
I think that if he decides to hang up the boots, yeah, good on him. Like he's getting like what is he 36 now or something?
something like that. Yep.
So yeah, I mean he could retire and I'd be all good with it. But I think that if he does decide to play on, there is two sharks, not two sharks, two teams that I think that he'd do.
Is one of them the Sharks?
Yes. Yeah, so one of them is Sharks with Braden Trindle and Nico Hines.
Yep.
They're both pretty young, inexperienced halves, so I think he'd do wonders there. And the Bulldogs with Burton
Okay.
and I think I'd put Flanagan in over Avarillo for
Yeah, I would
halfback.
too. I'd play Avarillo in the centers. Benji would be 37 next year. So if you look at it this year, though, he played more games this year than he had since 2015. 22 games. That's the most games he's played. So
Yeah,
he's still got it going on. If he does decide to retire, he probably goes down as the best player to come out of New Zealand to play in the NRL anyway. Like people say, Sonny Bill. Sonny Bill played probably half his career in the NRL. The other half he played in rugby union. So,
yeah,
and I heard Isaac John talk about Benji this week and say that to New Zealand people, that's their Joey Johns. Like that's their hero. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he's had a big impact on the New Zealand rugby league, especially their youth, just in general. So all the best to him. I don't think he'll play on, but we'll see. Breaking news before this podcast went on: Redcliffe look like they'll be announced as the 18th team, 17th team, 17th team.
17th. Yeah.
So that means we'll go back to a bye a week. You like that?
Oh, sure. Still the same amount of games on, so doesn't
Yeah,
bother me.
I don't really mind. I think teams need a bye, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, well, considering how fast the game's gotten and the amount of injuries that have been going around the last couple of years, yeah, sure, a bye would work well.
All right, guys, that's it. We're going to be doing some NRL content, some NBA content. Denny, you're the futures king of NBA.
Well, not really,
Give us
but
your resume. Give us your resume
all
in the
right,
futures market.
all right. So this has just been the last the last 4 years, all right.
Yep.
So I've picked the 2017-18 MVP, the 19-20 most improved, and then I picked the champs last year. I got James Harden at $8, Brandon Ingram at $10, and the Bucks at $5.50.
And this is all before the season, isn't it?
I think the Brandon Ingram one was a few games into the season, but the James Harden and the Bucks, they were both before the season started that I picked
All right, cool.
those gems. And then
We've found some we found some value for the grand final. Can you find us some value for the NBA?
all right, the NBA, this will be tough. You got to clip this because I think these might come true.
Okay,
So
let's go.
MVP, I've gone with the favorite Luka Doncic at $5.50, and I'm going to chuck in the champs there as well. I've gone the Clippers, the Los
So
Angeles
Luka Doncic
Clippers.
into the Clippers.
Well, you don't have to put them in together, but I think the Clippers. I think it's their year.
All right, there you go. You heard it here from the NBA guru here on the TryLine podcast. We're going to do some NBA content throughout the offseason. We go back to one show a week. NBA content, a little bit of cricket content. We'll cover all the NRL news throughout the year. What'd you make of the season in a whole? I thought the NRL did well to keep the game going, but that head-eye crackdown in Magic Round will just mar the season, I think, and especially because they couldn't stick to it, and we all
Oh
know they
yeah,
wouldn't, but they couldn't stick to it. I think that
cowards.
mars the year a little bit, but the final series I think makes up for it. The final series was really, really good, really hyper competitive games, and I think if we didn't get all that rubbish throughout the season and they ref the same way they did last year, I think there'd be less controversy this year in the semifinals because it seemed like half the referees were refereeing one way, half were refereeing the other way,
Mm.
and there was no consistency. And that's what I think about the year personally.
Yeah, I thought it was like in all, as a whole, I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you give the NRL a pass or a fail?
I'll give them a pass,
All right, give him a pass.
but
All right.
I will give the Panthers a fail.
Why is that?
I hate the Panthers. Like at the start of the year, or the last couple of years, actually, I've started liking them because
Yep.
I like the players. I like Brian Toto, I like Jerome Luai, Cleary Azayo, like Liam Martin as well. And I was like, yeah, nah, they're all right now. But after a couple of weeks ago, mate, no.
Denny, we've got 15 seconds. Wrap up your thoughts on bandwagon fans.
Oh, bandwagon fans are the worst. Remember that there was a couple of grand finals ago, Sharks versus Melbourne.
Yep.
Right. So the year before, there was barely any Sharks fans anywhere. Couldn't find one. And then we go into this grand final, and there's 60,000 Sharks fans there. Unbelievable. Can't stand them.
How many people got blocked on Facebook because of that?
Oh, there was a few, like at least 10.
All right. Thanks, guys.